Sawadee krap and good morning. Welcome to Good Morning Thailand. Today we're talking about endemic sandboxes. Whoever thought we'd have those two words together? We're talking about the Bikini Beach Race in Pattaya and also Thai hairstyle rules. All that coming up with me and Jay on Good Morning Thailand.
Could you please take a moment to click the like and subscribe button? It helps us way more than you know. Hello and welcome to Good Morning Thailand, brought to you by Deva Beach Resort as well as Trishada. This is Tim Newton.
Hello, thank you, Jason. Jay, forgot your name. I told you wear a name tag. I'm getting old and feeble.
We've only done this about 300 times.
Yes. This is Trishada Villas, which is very, very nice, as you can see. It's our last day here.
That's right. It's actually Trishada Sky. It's confusing because it is a Trishada Villa, but there's one development called Trishada Villas.
Okay. So this is adding to the confusion. The larger, this is a 4-bedroom villa.
That's right.
And just sort of everything is a little bit bigger, but it's the same neutral tones, the same sort of nautical theme, the pool villa Phuket type theme. Got beautiful gardens. You saw the pool at the start of the program. So thank you very much to Doug and the staff at Trishada Villas for making us welcome here over the past week.
Yes, thank you very much. All right, let's get on with it, shall we? Endemic Sandbox. We're all ready for the Endemic Sandbox.
Do you think it's really worthwhile making a song out of this?
Yes.
Or maybe you might be overthinking this?
I'm definitely overthinking it, and it's definitely not exciting, but
can you imagine
one of us has to do something.
They've found a way of putting the words endemic and sandbox into the same sentence.
I know. And it is the people who actually started with the sandbox. They're like, quick, test and go is gone. What do we do? No. But ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are not aware yet, because you haven't read the article on thethaiger.com, how dare you. Health Permanent Secretary has come out on Thursday and said that the ministry will seek approval from the CCSA to basically start a endemic sandbox, which includes 3 islands, which are
Koh Chang in Prat.
Yes.
Koh Samui in Suratani.
And good old
Koh Phuket, better known as Phuket.
That's right.
In the Andaman Sea in, Phuket is its own province. But this is, what can I say, ludicrous. So they're going to sort of say, all right, we're going to make Thailand endemic, like it's a decision that the government can make, not the virus, but the government decides, but they're going to have a sandbox where they're going to try out their endemic process first to see if it works in areas that they can control, because an island, you know, you've got control of the population.
And guess what the endemic phase includes?
This makes it even sillier, but pray tell.
Ladies and gentlemen, bars and entertainment venues will be allowed to open only until the curfew.
Wow, so they're going to let bars reopen on Phuket, Samui and Koh Chang. Now, let me just ask you a question apropos of nothing in particular, Jay. Mm-hmm. Where were you and Jason last night?
I just went down for a stroll in Soy Bangla Walking Street.
Oh, Bangla Road in Phuket.
That's right.
Where, of course, all the bars are closed. But
the restaurants are open.
So what did you see? Give me a 1-minute potted. But we got some video?
Yes, we do have some video.
So have a look at this,
yeah.
And you can talk us through.
Yeah. So me and Jason decided to do a little update on what the nightlife in Phuket is currently. I can't talk over it.
You're gonna have to wait for a second. Thaiger, we're back. We're in Bangla tonight, and we're here to see how lively Patong is tonight. This is part 2 of what the nightlife is looking like currently in Phuket.
Well, there it was.
I thought I'd be talking over it, but...
So it was pretty busy in Bangla Road in Phuket last night. And pretty much, if you want to go to the hot spots of Choang Beach in Samui, if you want to go to Walking Street in Pattaya, or what is it, Soi 6, I think is one of the famous busy streets near Soi Bukhao. I'm just trying to remember we were there in Pattaya a few weeks ago. that what we just saw is pretty much repeated. In other words, the bars are open. So it's all very well for these bureaucrats and politicians to sit in their little rooms and get ferried around in the back of a Mercedes by highly paid chauffeurs. But none of them have clearly been out to any of these bar areas to see what's actually happening. Now, I understand in places like Bangkok, it's a little bit more subdued. But you move out of Bangkok to Pattaya, to Samui, to Koh Chang even, to Phuket, and these bars are already open. So what we're looking at is that they're saying we're going to have this endemic sandbox where we're going to let the bars open up officially. But how is that going to change anything?
I want to try to understand why they came up with this decision. Perhaps, they have very little in their control. They can't change the CCSA rules. They can't do anything with the emergency decree. They just have a say, and they can propose ideas like, let's get rid of the Thailand pass, let's get rid of test and go, but they don't actually have the power to do anything. Perhaps this is just a desperate attempt or an attempt to officially open the bars. Are they aware that the bars are open?
They'd have to
Possibly.
be. So he's the
Allegedly.
permanent secretary from the Public Health Department. So he's pretty high up in public health.
Perhaps this is the only way to officially get it open. So they know it's open. They know what's going on, hopefully. Once they go through this endemic phase, blah, 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 endemic sandbox, then they'll be like, all right, we're openly open. And they can market that. They can advertise and be like, look at our nightlife. Look how wild it is. Look how fun it is. Come to Phuket now. Come to Samui now.
Well, they can do what they want till they're blue in the face. But the fact is, every blogger who does any sort of videos in Thailand has already been walking around these locations going, hey, it's wide open. It's all happening. There's a curfew in some places, which is being enforced to a greater or lesser extent. Nobody's wearing their mask. Come on down. Yet these guys are saying, oh, we think we might reopen the bars. And then by calling it the endemic sandbox, I mean, for Christ's sake, it's just bewildering as to how incompetent they can be able to peddle this stuff to the media and expect us to, and we will probably publish a story about this today, with a huge grin on our face saying, you've got to be joking. I'm sorry. I just can't control myself. I'm bewildered.
All right. Moving on, talking about Thailand reopening and business picking up, the Prime Minister's been out and about.
Out and about.
Out and about. And he's actually at the ASEAN-US Special Summit in Washington, D.C. And he's basically come out and said, look, Thailand is ready to do business. We're out and running. This is the next normal, he called it. And he basically said, look, we're welcoming back tourists and visitors, whether they're business, leisure, travelers, or if they're attending meetings or just seeking medical care. Thailand's ready to go. Everyone come back. And maybe this is a good platform for him to go out in public in a big meeting, I'm guessing, ASEAN-US Special Summit, where he can address mass amounts of people, officials, to go out and say...
Really? Mass amounts of people?
No, what I mean is like he's talking to leaders of different countries, and like he's basically just going out and we're talking about it. So he's basically going out and telling people, look, come to Thailand. Now, will this have any effect? Will this bring in extra people? We don't know, but it's a good look. He's sending a positive message. We're ready, and
Sure.
everyone's welcome.
But the ASEAN meeting, or the ASEAN leaders meeting with the President of the United States, is about ASEAN political showboating. It's not about tourism or pushing one particular agenda. It's really about the United States pushing their regional political agenda and trying to get the ASEAN leaders to toe the line. So that's what this is about. So he can huff and puff, the Prime Minister, saying, I'm going to make sure that people know that Thailand's open again. Well, it's open, but you've got to wear a face mask, you've got to have a Thailand pass, and there's a curfew at midnight. So it's sort of open, almost.
Tim, why do you hate Thailand?
I don't hate Thailand. I love Thailand. That's why I'm angry about the government and the way that they're trying to sort of... It's not even sugarcoating it. They're basically misleading people. And it adds to the confusion. People out there saying, I might go back to Thailand. And they've got the Prime Minister saying, Thailand is open. And then they go, I've got to register a Thailand pass. Oh, I've got to wear a face mask. Oh, I'm seeing lots of videos where people aren't wearing face masks. I mean, it's just so confusing for people to know how to consider Thailand at the moment. I mean, we understand the process and the politics and the concept of saving face, but a lot of the people out there just want to go and sit on a beach or go and sit in a bar or go and walk on a mountain trail or go shopping and getting some bargains in the Pattaya market in Bangkok. But it's so confusing for them to read articles like this and saying, but I've already seen videos and it already sort of looks like it's open. And in a lot of the hotspots, it is already open. So I don't know why the government needs to sort of do all this subterfuge. Just very confusing. And I feel bad because we sort of have to decode all this to make it clear for people, which probably just adds to the confusion, maybe.
All right. Can I tell you a little bit about my night last night?
You and Jason went down to Bangalore Road. What time was it around about? Wouldn't be too late because you've got to get up in the morning. Yeah. You met with some of the members?
Yes, I did. Sorry, I've got some comments here. I think some people making comments that I'm pointing my feed towards the camera. It's actually diagonally pointing away from the feet, so if that does make you feel better, it's not actually towards you.
Also, do you have to have those ridiculous little short socks on?
Why?
Well, if you're going to show your feet. Like me. By the way, welcome. These are my 2 coconuts, everybody. So hopefully they're on display.
Yeah.
So no, we're not sitting here. Well, I am perhaps unintentionally pointing my feet towards the camera. Not that you can see them.
You've got both feet pointing towards the camera.
But I mean, if I don't know, how do you want me to sit? Like this?
Yeah, Damien Jessa says, J555, it's okay. Min Nam, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't care what you say. Just being rude.
Okay, so
half a second away from being banned.
Stop being distracted and tell the people what it was like in Bangalore Road in Phuket last night. By the way, there was a lot of rain in Phuket yesterday. It rained and rained and rained and rained. But I think it was clear last night?
Yes, no. It did rain.
It did rain, okay.
It did rain.
Do you have Jason on a leash? Because he can get a little bit out of control.
Yeah, he was rowdy.
Yeah.
He was rowdy.
I can well imagine.
Yeah.
So tell us about the experience.
Okay. I noticed a very big difference from where I was when I went there last time. Firstly, there were no poles and there were no go-go bar dancers. Not out in the open. Not out in the open.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that's straight. And I only noticed because Jason told me, naughty boy. But yes, he's very perceptive for these kinds of things. So when you enter from the Taipan area, from Jung Silan, which is not the beach entrance, the opposite of the official entrance, I think. So
the big bars on either side.
There used to be big bars on each side. There'd be those bars where a lot of girls would be standing in front and trying to invite customers in. Those are all gone. It's just shops selling shoes, bags, and like basically copy fakes of branded items. And I was like, okay, you walk in about 30, 40 meters, those shops end, and then, okay, the real walking street begins. Welcome to Soy Bangla. Everything was packed. Nobody's wearing masks, not even pretending, and there's no enforcement. So even on the beach entrance, last time there was basically a temperature check, and some people were maybe randomly picked for vaccination checks. Nothing anymore. There's not even a booth. There were no police on site.
Have you got the girls with the sign saying ping pong show, 600 baht?
Many different types of shows, yes.
Okay. What other shows were there, Jay?
You're going to have to come to Phuket and find out.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. In the bars...
So the shows that you can't mention for a particular reason?
Yeah.
Okay. We get the idea.
And what else, Jason? It was lively. It was good. The music was on. It just seemed like everything's gone back to normal. Now, a lot of the shops that were closed last time are now open again. The little shops that sell, again... fake branded items, basically. Those little shops are again. And I was wondering with Jason that, do they have a lower rent? Because there's no way they can afford to pay the rent, even with the current situation having improved. I think so. Yes.
Okay, so what you have just told me is in stark contrast to the notes I have here, which are from an article in a renowned English publisher that says the government is considering an endemic sandbox and officially reopening some of the bars. So this is the confusion, it's a process we just have to go through. So how long are they going to then trial this endemic sandbox? I remember back at the start of the year, they spoke about July, the start of July, as being a time when it could become endemic. It looks like that July the 1st date for Thailand completely reopening up, hopefully without the Thailand pass, is still sort of, they're looking at that date. The wearing of face masks, though, I note on the last 2 days, the last sentence has always been, even when we call it endemic, people will still be required to wear face masks. So then it's just a matter of how much is that going to be enforced, or how much latitude people are going to give people in wearing face masks or not. Well, we noticed that there hasn't been a lot of people complaining that they've been fined for not wearing face masks. Certainly nobody down Soy Bangla last night.
The entire night I only saw one person wearing a face mask.
Well, anybody of note, or just a... Oh, really? Really?
Yes.
Okay, well, he's a very good boy.
He's a very good boy.
He's
very safe.
well brought up.
Yes.
Can't speak English very well, but otherwise he's quite well brought up.
Yeah. Hand signs.
Yes.
That'll do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take another quick break. Once we come back from the break...
Well, we can have the news?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Just wondering.
What news?
The news with Natty.
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take another quick break. During the break, you'll see the top 3 headlines from Thailand, as well as we're going to come back from the break and talk about what really, really matters. It's the bikini run in Pattaya.
Yes.
Are you ready for the bikini run in Pattaya? You better be. We'll be back right after this.
Here are Thailand's top headlines for this morning. Positive changes to the 10-year long-term residential visa is now here. Thailand's cabinet announced some changes to the 10-year long-term residential visa, or LTR, that could make the digital nomad lifestyle a realistic option for certain individuals. The LTR visa is aimed at 4 groups: wealthy foreigners, retirees, working foreigners, and specialists. Digital nomads could be classified as either working foreigners or specialists, who must both meet 2 requirements to be eligible for the LTR visa. First, they must have an employment or service contract with a Thai or a foreign company. Secondly, they must be able to provide proof of 5-year work experience in the relevant industry, completed within 10 years of the application date. The cabinet also announced that they will have the one-time fee for the LTR visa from 100,000 to 50,000 baht. So if you have the contract and proof of 5 years of work experience, it's a pretty sweet deal that gets you a visa in Thailand valid for 10 years. Also, LTR visa holders are welcome to bring their spouse and up to 4 children under the age of 20 with them into the kingdom. The changes will come into effect 90 days after their official announcement in the Royal Gazette. To apply for the visa outside of Thailand, contact your nearest Thai embassy or consulate. To apply from within Thailand, contact the Immigration Bureau in Bangkok. 2 detained suspects are now awaiting further legal proceedings after being convicted for allegedly drugging a Kuwaiti tourist before stealing about 200,000 baht from him, or around $5,700 in Bangkok in March. The victim said the suspects took him to a hotel on Bangkok's famous Sukhumvit Road to have sex. He said he was then drugged and became unconscious. When he woke up, he saw that his money had been stolen. After collecting evidence, Lumpini police eventually arrested the 2 suspects, 28-year-old Chadaporn Omsin and 26-year-old Sipan Tien Krachang. Both are transgender women. The police arrested Chadaporn in Bangkok and Sipan in Nonthaburi. Police said that Chadaporn confessed to the allegation when she was interrogated at Lumpini police station, and said that she had committed similar crimes 3 times before with British and Chinese tourists after she was released from Thonburi remand prison. The hotel where they took the tourists is reportedly on Sukhumvit Soi 5 in the Lumpini district. And lastly, a father mourning for the death of his son. A delivery worker who worked for Lala Move, 31-year-old Vishan Pimtikar, jumped from Pumipon 1 bridge on Wednesday afternoon. He had parked his motorcycle on the bridge before deciding to jump. His body was later found floating in the Chao Phraya River. A ferry operator said he was on duty nearby when he heard a big splash. He looked around to see if anyone fell from the boat until he saw a pair of shoes floating on the surface. He called emergency services while trying to locate the body. The victim's father, who is also a motorbike taxi driver, told police that his son had been suffering from depression. He took his son to Le Tsin Hospital in Bang Rak district in Bangkok, and the next appointment was set for June. The father believed the wait for the appointment was too long, so he took his son to Somdet Chao Phraya Hospital instead. But once they got there, he said that his son ran away and was unable to be found or contacted. When the father got back to his motorcycle post, he saw that his son's helmet was still there. He thought his son went somewhere else until he got a phone call from his son's employer that his son has jumped off from the bridge. If you know anyone who is in emotional distress, please contact the Samaritans of Thailand's 24-hour hotline at 02 713 6791.
And welcome back. You're watching Good Morning Thailand. That's Tim.
We've got some guests here.
That's right.
At the villa. You might see people walking behind us at some stage. They're currently looking at the bedrooms, but an estate agent has brought some customers to come and check out the villa. So if you do see people walking behind us, that's who it is.
Yeah, they're hired actors. No, they're not. And you too can come and visit Trishada Sky or Trishada Breeze for
In
Trishada
Cheung Talay.
Breeze. Yeah, that's right. In Cheung Talay area, you can just Google Maps it, yeah, you can also check them out on tigerproperty.com.
Tigerproperty.com.
That's right.
Correct.
You can go on there, type in Trishada, do a 3D walkthrough, visualize your experience and wonderful life in these beautiful villa. All right. Oh, I've got an update.
Yes.
Salt and vinegar.
Salt and vinegar. Oh, this is one of our viewers.
That's right. He was a Tiger Cub. He's upgraded now to a Tiger Legend.
Thank you very much. Appreciated. Appreciate it.
Thank you for becoming a Tiger Legend, and thank you to all the members always supporting us. We appreciate you, as well as all the viewers watching us live every day. Thank you very much. If you're enjoying the show so far, please click the like button. Let's move on to Pattaya Bikini Beach Race.
So this was a story yesterday in the Thaiger about a forthcoming event.
Yeah.
But it seems to have grabbed people's attention.
Yeah.
I'm suspecting it may be the word bikini.
Possibly, and Pattaya and beach.
Yeah, sure.
And the pictures.
So before we address this, I'm going to address this comment from D. Sackman, who says, what is Thaiger's weird fascination with the bars and tourist sex places? That's all they talk about. Thailand has so much more to offer. I see some Freudian issues here. What's up with these guys? Well, can we say that it's not our fascination? It appears to be the Thai government's fascination, and also what a lot of people are talking about when it comes to some of the contradictions in the way that Thailand is slowly being reopened. And some of the biggest suffering for Thai people and also foreigners have been people who have businesses in some of these high-profile locations. So it is a big talking point. And also the Thai government, every time they talked about introducing face masks, introducing lockdowns, it all happened after some of these sex locations, if you like, be them gentlemen's clubs or other bar areas, had clusters of COVID-19. So the fascination is not from us. We're just really reporting what's been happening. So zero extra fascination on this than any other part of the story. Also, people out there seem to be interested in these issues, and we want to talk about them and debate about them from a logic point of view and try and decode what the Thai government may or may not be doing at the moment.
It's also one of the last things to officially reopen.
Yeah.
You can come to Thailand. Thailand pass entry restrictions have basically all been removed. Test and go, sorry. And you can visit the temples, you can visit the mountains, you can go have your coffee, you can do all the beautiful things in Thailand, except officially
go to a bar.
Yeah.
Which you clearly can, but as far as the government's concerned, you can't.
And
so that's a contradiction worth talking about. So we can make sure you know what you can and can't do, or what you can expect to do coming back to Thailand. Yes, you can come back to Thailand and go and have a good night in a bar, even though the Thai government haven't officially reopened them. So we're just passing on the news D. Sackman. And onto the Bikini Beach Race.
You know, it was a serious question because his username was D. Sackman. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the Pattaya Bikini Beach Race.
So are you going in the race?
No.
No? I think you should.
I don't know. I mean...
Can men go in the race? Or
yes.
Do they have to wear a bikini?
Look, it's a bikini race. But yeah, of course men can take part. You don't even have to actually necessarily wear a bikini.
I have to say, because I've done a bit of running in the past, a long distant past, that running on the beach is particularly difficult. It's not an easy thing to do, running on a beach.
Yeah, but then, you know, they always have a couple of models and celebrities wear bikinis, and that's the selling point of, you know, come have a nice hot day on the beach and, you know,
so this would be
aesthetically please yourself.
Yeah, so this would be a popular day for influencers, a lot of Thai tourism. They'll have Thai celebrities, Thai musicians, Thai athletes coming along.
Yeah.
Bet Kun Toon will be there.
Who?
Toon from Body Slam.
No, he's a proper runner. He's not a bikini race runner.
Well, no, but he'll be there because he is a high-profile runner. He
Pitoon,
ran all the way from south of Thailand to the north of Thailand.
Pitoon, who is a rock band singer from the band Body Slam.
Body Slam.
That's right. So you caught me off guard there, talking about Toon. You've watched the documentary, haven't you?
Fantastic documentary.
Okay, there we go.
Well recommended.
Well, this is going to be the biggest and sexiest running event in Thailand, and different Thai celebrities, sexy idols and models will join the race and run in their bikinis.
Sure. That's good. Good fun and good luck. But this is in October. I'm not sure why we're talking about it now, but obviously this is going to be a big event in October, clearly sort of aimed at good influencer photo opportunities and feel-good fun in good old Pattaya.
Good old Pattaya. That's right. So whoever's planning to visit Pattaya in October, we wish you have a very nice sunny day at the beach.
I noticed on their Facebook page that there was literally only one photo. I thought if they're trying to promote it, they would have had a few more photos from the past.
Yeah.
And you said there was a photo of 9 girls, and one of them you didn't think was a girl.
Possibly. We're all inclusive here in Thailand. But yes, I felt so.
What was the things that you were looking at that suggested to you that she or he wasn't a real female?
I just have the eye.
You have a sort of a katoi da.
Yeah.
Katoi radar.
Katoi radar. Yeah, sure. What?
Well, I don't know. You're sort of saying you could pick them out of a group.
Yeah,
of
I mean, I feel
9
like
people.
I feel like I've been here long enough. You could, like, you know, there's certain characteristics you can just tell. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can I also suggest to you, for free, that if you ever chose to become a woman, for whatever reason, you would be probably the ugliest ladyboy that had ever graced the streets of Thailand.
I think I'd do better than you, and I'm happy with that.
Only mildly. B. Kilby says, why is Tim dressing like a prep school geek, but 60 plus years old? I'm thinking a polo shirt is smart casual.
Jason can't contain himself.
The fact that I've got the shorts on is perhaps yesterday we were sitting behind a table and I got away with it. However, today we are sitting at a couch. You are dressed appropriately. I have missed it. I apologise that you can see my knees. I'm trying to cover it up discreetly with a pair of coconuts and a laptop. But I apologise if I look like a prep school geek. Yeah. But in reality, 60 plus years old.
At least you didn't have your feet pointing towards the camera.
Well, I do, except you can't see them. But I suppose that's the idea.
It's so rude, Tim. So rude.
Okay, on we go.
All right, let's take another quick break. Once we come back from the break, we're going to be talking about student haircuts.
Oh, this is good, yes.
You might think this is not a big deal, but students around Thailand are furious and taking a stand and saying, I will not cut my hair in the way you want me to cut it.
Me either.
We'll be back right after this.
Good Morning Thailand gets up to 80,000 viewers per week, and we'd like to weaponise our audience for you.
That's right. So if you have a business or property or even your house that you'd like to sell,
Private yacht?
yeah, we could be in space.
I'm not sure about space.
Well, all you have to do is contact us on info@thetiger.com, and you can hire us up to a day or even a week, and we'll go to your property and do the show live.
Good Morning Thailand, coming your way.
Welcome back.
I wonder if they've sold the villa yet.
I don't know.
There's a lot of talking going on.
There is a lot of talking
I
going
think they're
on.
negotiating on price.
There's a serious.
They're speaking in Chinese, so I can count to 10 in Chinese.
Can you?
That's about as far as I go.
Of course.
I can
you
hear a few numbers in Chinese.
Yeah. Albert Maynard. I don't know all about. Albert Maynard's got a good idea. He says the Thaiger should have a mean tweets edition. Albert, thank you very much for your suggestion. I've got a new idea
That'd
for
be
Thaiger
a
Bites.
very long show.
No, but I've got an idea for Thaiger Bites.
Yeah.
Now, in Good Morning Thailand, by the end of the show, we do take a lot of questions.
Yes.
And Thaiger Bites basically started off as a show where we get to address your comments and feedback.
Yes.
And now that we've been taking questions on Good Morning Thailand, I've felt that Thaiger Bites has, become a little bit less mild. We don't bite back as often.
Ooh.
So I feel that Thaiger Bites should be basically a mean tweets edition.
Yeah.
And we're going to bite back. And as I say bite back, we've got customers and real estate agents.
Our pleasure.
It's
Thank
a great
you for coming.
villa. You should buy it.
Yes, buy the villa.
Oh, nice. You already bought it.
You buy the villa?
They bought the villa. ladies and gentlemen.
Congratulations. Another sale. And we look forward to our commission. Thank you for coming. Well done.
All right.
So all that talking was well worth it. I didn't hear a word you said, by the way, but so we're going to change Thaiger Bites to mean tweets.
Yes,
Okay, good.
basically.
There's plenty of material there because
There is
most
plenty
of them aren't
material.
mean.
Yeah. Just one roast after another.
Haircuts. Hello?
Yes.
Haircuts.
Sorry, I just saw a question that completely threw me
Threw
off
you,
guard.
yes,
Can I
yes.
ask you this question?
Yes.
Because I'm intrigued as well. Mr. Triple Jack 82, he says, Tim, I just did a little bit of research into you.
Oh, yes.
You were a boat designer, a
Yeah.
sailor, an aerobics instructor, and tennis player. Is this information correct?
Yes. Regarding the tennis player, I was a particularly bad tennis player, but I did play tennis for about 40 years. I'm strongly thinking of getting the racket out and having a run around. But it does get very hot very quickly, and the humidity just washes me out when I get too moist.
Well, I knew everything, but I did not know you were an aerobics instructor.
I was an aerobics instructor.
Where's this information coming from, Mr. Triple Jack? You've got a...
So these are different. People have interviewed me from time to time. Sometimes I give far too much information. But I was an aerobics instructor. It was a time in my late 30s when I was, I was about 23, and I put on a lot of weight. I was over 100 kilograms, and for my height I should be about 72 maybe kilograms. I'm currently about 79 or 80 kilograms, a bit overweight. Cuddly, you might say. So, I went to the doctor. He said, you're going to die before you're 30 if you don't do something. So I became an aerobics instructor. And I really got into it. I was taking up to like 8-10 classes a day at one stage.
What?
Yeah. It was a very, very, it was a lucrative little business.
So you were just like crazy fit at one point in your life?
I used to take aerobics lessons and do a radio program once a day. And read radio news.
So aerobics for 8 hours a day, radio for 1 hour a day.
Oh, no, I used to do radio for about 4 or 5 hours a day.
Oh.
And the days we had to do it live before things like the computers and the way radio's done these days, it's all pre-recorded. But it wasn't in those days, it was live, a bit like this. So, and the boat design, yes, I designed and built 2 boats.
Wow.
One of them was very fast, the other one wasn't.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, with that segue,
We're going to talk about hairstyles.
We're going to talk about student haircuts. Now, something's been trending on Twitter, in particular from the Bad Student group. Now, just for a quick, brief conclusion of what the Bad Student is, it's basically a group of the younger generation in Thailand, of young students who've basically come together and said, we're going to stand up for what we believe in. We're going to stand up against whether it's the government or anyone really, if we feel that some injustice has taken place. Now, they've brought forward a problem regarding haircuts. Most Thai schools, even the private Thai schools, but especially the government Thai schools, have some rules set in place, like most schools do, in particular with haircuts. Now, for women, it's quite strict.
Can you give me some sort of guidelines?
So just think of it, they're basically supposed to cut their hair no matter what age they are until they finish high school. Their haircut has to be short up until their ear.
Only to the ear?
Yeah, up until their ear,
So
basically.
as a girl, they can't have long hair?
Yes.
Okay.
Most Thai government
Can you have
schools
long hair and, sorry.
have strict rules.
So can you have long hair and tie it up?
No.
So you've got to actually cut your hair down to what, your collar or something?
Yes.
Okay.
A little, but it's kind of weird. It's a little bit above your collar. It's like basically where your ear ends. So there's a little bit of gap between the hair and the collar. I don't know. It looks silly.
All right.
And a lot of my friends have complained about that. They've hated it growing up. They'd had to cut their hair. So they can't wait to get out of high school just to have a say on what hair they'd like, because why wouldn't you? And for boys, it's normally, you get the traditional buzz cut. Not really a buzz cut, but very short. You can only have very short hair.
Well,
you can't
I
even
mean,
have hair as long as mine.
They have like, oh, yes, you can.
Forget about locks. No, what are you talking about?
Well, they have like a fringe. They above their...
Men, I'm talking about.
Yeah, men.
What fringe?
They don't have to have a buzz cut.
No, not a buzz cut. That's a bit exaggerated. I mean,
But your
short,
hair would be considered...
short and smart. I
Without
don't
the beard.
think this is short and smart.
Can you grow a beard?
No, I don't think. No, they're like, they've just hit puberty.
I'm talking about the boys, not the girls.
Yes.
Okay.
What?
But your hair wouldn't be considered short enough?
No.
For a...
No.
Okay, but I mean, I see a
Jason?
lot of Thai students
Yeah.
with hair longer than that.
It depends what school you go to. Yes,
Okay.
it does matter. Like for example, in Phuket, now there are many Thai government schools who are not really 100% owned by government. They have private investments as
Right.
well, so they have some special rules. They've also now started to include IGCSE and international English certification in Thai schools. So it depends. If you go to that school, then yes, it's a bit more open. It's a bit more.
So as soon as
chill.
you start putting guidelines,
Yeah.
like specific measurements and shoulder length, and then it becomes open to interpretation. And this is why I suppose you do, as you just said, you'll see a different way of interpreting those particular rules. But I've got a funny feeling this bad students, hashtag bad students movement, they've got a lot of energy and a lot of angst, and they've probably got plenty to complain about in regards to the Thai education system. But a lot of their energy 2 years ago was directed at bigger picture stuff. And it was about the Thai constitution. It was about the relationship of the Thai constitution to the head of state. And there were some like really big picture things that broke out into the broader media. But it was largely driven by university students and secondary school students, that particular movement. And they got, suppressed, let's say, by the government, who pretty much litigated against them to the stage where it was difficult for them to speak out about the things they wanted to speak out about. But here they are, they're now using their energy to talk about hairstyles. But I sort of feel that it's about a lot more than just the hairstyles.
The reason I said buzz cut, just to better explain, the rules state that the hair of male students must be cut evenly short. So no fades, it must be evenly short all the way through.
So like a bowl cut.
Yes, but with the hair in front not exceeding 3 centimeters.
So, okay, so if you've got a high hairline, then it's going to be up here. If you've got a low hairline, it might even be below your eyebrow.
Female students must have their hair cut evenly up to the earlobes for junior high students, and 4 centimeters below the earlobes for senior high students.
It was just like down to like collar length hair.
I guess, yeah.
Okay. It's just, and we have seen videos and we've seen photos of school principals like measuring the hair, and sometimes they shame these students by shaving their head or by cutting their hair in front of the class, and then it's quite draconian. I watch these videos in horror, really.
Yeah.
It's not the way to approach young people or to show any respect to them.
Some people do have like you say, draconian measures. Like there's a case from Mathayom Wat Tat Thong School, which is in Bangkok. Now, the principal or headmaster from this school has decided to set more lenient rules where he's like, look, if you guys want to have long hair, you're more than welcome to have long hair. Let's focus on what's really important, getting good grades so we can get educated and have a better life.
Hallelujah.
Sorry, I thought you were going to break out in a song.
No, well, I'm just saying that's the way it should be. I mean, that's the focus should be.
Yeah.
You need to have rules, you need to have guidelines, but I think the more you try and make the rules and the guidelines difficult for people to manage and out of step with the current social mores or the current fashion, then it just makes it much more open to broad interpretation by the students and much more likely to be broken or challenged. And again, you want the students focusing on their studies. You don't want them trying to figure out ways they can break the rules.
All right.
There you go. I'd love to know what the viewers think about those things.
Yeah, let us know your feedback on any of the stories. We're going to take some of your questions, but first, we're going to take a quick break. Once we come back from the break, we'll take...
It's all about you.
We'll be back right after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's now time to answer your questions, and it's extremely bright as I'm looking towards a glass window.
A white wall
Yeah.
with tropical plants in front, and we've got a swimming pool about, 7 or 8 metres long?
Yeah.
And a white patio.
White?
White.
Okay.
And then we're looking beyond that to a rubber tree plantation.
Okay.
And the sky beyond, but it is quite bright. But that's good because it keeps the camera in focus. So you got some comments?
Yes. Now, the Snives says, a strict school environment brings discipline.
Okay. Well, does it? I think the more strict you apply the rules, the more challenging you're going to get from the students. And there's some students that are just going to rebel. I was somewhere between sitting at the back row of the class being a rebellious little prick and also being quiet and compliant when I chose to be. I kept them wondering, this Tim guy, what's he about? I don't think they ever figured me out. I'm still wondering myself.
Right.
I've got one here from Damien Jesser, who says, I want to go to a ping pong show just once in my life. It's nice, he's into sports. I lived in Pattaya for 8 months and never went to a go-go bar and only went to Walking Street 2 times. Ha ha ha. So, yeah, there are ping pong shows in most of these red light districts, and they're places where they play traditional ping pong matches. You can have either singles or doubles. With doubles, of course, the problem is that you need to be able to work with your partner to because it's one person hits the ball, then the other person hits the ball. And if it's not big enough, if you're watching the ping pong game, you'll end up with a ping pong in your face. And they can hit those balls pretty quickly, pretty hard too.
Right. Proper Tracks says, hello, can you guys shout out to my dad, Lou Salol? He's a big fan of the Thaiger. Keep up the good work. Well, Lou, hello, and I hope you're enjoying the show.
What's his name?
Lou Sassel. I apologize.
Lou Cecil or Lou Cecil?
Lou Sassel.
Lou Sassel. Where is it?
There.
I
Lou
can't.
Sassel.
It's too small.
Sorry, a lot of consonants. I apologize if I've said your...
Just Lou for short.
Lou. Hey,
Lou.
Lou.
Thank you very much for watching.
Yeah.
Did anybody recognise you last night in Soy Bangla?
Yes.
Yes?
2 people.
Okay. You're pretty hard to hide when you're in full flight, all 6'3" of you marching down the street.
We were both wearing a Tiger t-shirt.
Oh, that helps too.
So first we met Dale.
Hi, Dale.
He is a Tiger member. Mirshka Hargate. And Yeah, got to talk to Dale for a while. And then, Jason, who did we meet near the food court? A very nice gentleman from San Francisco, I believe. He was traveling. He was on holiday. It was his first day. I did this whole interview. I was like, how are you enjoying it? What do you think about the entertainment life? And then the last sentence he said is, everything's great so far. It's my first day. And I was like, all the questions I've asked you.
Just completely irrelevant.
But it was really nice to see you guys. And thank you for stopping by and saying hi. A couple of them asked, oh, where's the guy you're always with, the old guy? And I said, excuse me? So, oh, it's you and him. I didn't recognize you because you weren't with him. I was like, oh, okay, so we're a package deal.
The old guy. Thank you very much. Thailand Heron says, go to a Thai area and you see most Thais wearing masks. It's just the tourists who have no respect. Well, generally, I would say your premise is correct, that if you go to areas where there are a lot of Thais, mostly people do tend to wear masks.
Yeah.
There is some sort of, in the way that the bar areas have become restaurants so that they can reopen and are trying to push past the curfew, trying to push the barriers of what is legal in those areas. It's happened with face masks, where there seems to be some sort of open rebellion about the wearing of face masks. Not saying whether that's right or wrong, but I think his premise is right, that if you go to areas that are heavily populated by Thai people, most people usually wear masks. And my advice to any foreigners coming to Thailand would be just look around you before you decide whether you're going to take your mask off or not. And if there are a lot of Thais around you and they are wearing face masks, I'd probably recommend you do the same at this stage.
All right. The Wu-Tang Life says, Jay and Tim, are you excited about Top Gun Maverick?
Top Gun Maverick. This is the film, the Top Gun sequel that's been around for about 3 years.
2 years.
2 years, and they keep on delaying it.
Well, yeah, because they're waiting for the big cinema day.
When is it being released? Has it been announced?
26th, I believe.
Of
May.
Oh, May. Oh, okay. So it's looming.
Yes.
So this stars Tom Cruise.
Of course it stars Tom Cruise. How dare you?
Is Vladimir... what's Kilmer?
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer, is he in it?
Vladimir?
So no, I had the V.
Do the words Iceman have no meaning to you?
Is Val Kilmer, is he in it?
I think he is, but he plays a much smaller part.
Kelly McGillis, I think her name was. Is she in it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so it's Maverick being Maverick.
Yes.
And sort of rebelling against, he's wearing his hair long and being the maverick that he is.
Yeah.
So are people liking this movie? Is it getting rated or not?
Well, I got excited because I basically saw a review on the BBC, and the BBC critics are actually quite tough. They don't easily give 5 stars, but they gave 5 stars to the story.
Whoa.
They were like, stronger story, stronger plot lines, better comedy, nice quotes. It's that feel-good feeling of when you were a child and you watched Top Gun and you wanted to be a fighter pilot.
Had a great soundtrack. That's what I remember from the first Top Gun movie.
Welcome to
Okay,
the
good.
danger zone.
Thanks very much.
Can you tell we're big fans?
Well, I was a fan.
You were a pilot. You loved Top Gun. Don't even start with
Well, I
me.
never really thought I never imagined or put myself in the cockpit of a fighter plane. I was just in little aeroplanes. I never really imagined. I only got my pilot's license because I used to fly a lot and I got scared of flying. So the remedy that was recommended to me was get a pilot's license. So you actually understand how the things fly. So that's why I got my pilot's license, which I still retain.
Right, I've got a special message here. Lewis Carbo, thank you very much for donating. He's just donated $100.
Is this the gentleman we said hello to?
Lewis? No,
No, a different person.
a different person. A Thaiger viewer, a Thaiger member possibly. I'm not sure.
Thank you very much. Appreciated. And
And he says, Tim, full stop.
God, what have I done
Thanks
wrong?
for keeping us Farangs informed. So that's all you.
Okay,
Well
thank you
done.
very much. I
Well done,
appreciate
Tim.
that. Well, I tell you what, the sort of the essence of what we try and do is we know there's a lot of stuff that comes out of announcements of Thai politicians, and what we try and do is decode it for you, because what they say, what they mean, and what actually really happens are sometimes 3 totally different things. So if we do nothing but try and act as a translator or a decoder for you, and we sometimes get it, actually we mostly get it right. In fact, I think we almost always get it right. But that's what we're here to do. We live here, we sort of have a good understanding of the culture, and we do our best to try and make sure we give you good, accurate information. And when things are not necessarily black and white, we try and paint the best shade of grey we possibly can.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Lewis. Thank you for the donation.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
It is.
Right. I've got a question from BKIB, who says, will the Thaiger sponsor aerobics every day with Tim in silk shorts like Richard Simmons used to? Who's Richard Simmons?
Oh, now Richard Simmons was, he was sort of the Oprah of aerobics. He was a funny little guy who's now quite old. I think he's sort of withdrawn and become a bit of a hermit. But he was, he used to be into, come on girls, let's get into it. And he was like really big and brassy and noisy and very popular, and the girls loved him. That would be during the 80s. But no, there is not a single possibility in hell of me putting on silk shirts and the foot warmers and the headband. Not a single hope in hell. However, I may share a photo with you one day, if you're good.
All right. Greg Anderson's corrected me and said 26th May, Top Gun 2 heading to Bangkok, must see in IMAX. Thank you for that, Greg. And Ryan Bishop says Tim connects with the older Farangs. Ryan's told me multiple times that he's not interested in millennial comments and opinions and thoughts, and that's okay.
So, I mean, this is the idea of having somebody like Jay here and me. You get sort of a bit of the two different attitudes from two different people. And of course with Natty as well. She's younger and of course female, and she gives a different perspective as well. And in fact, out of the three of us, she's the only one that's actually Thai. So we try and give different perspectives.
Yes.
And some of the perspectives are not necessarily right or wrong, but they are our perspectives, and we try and be honest and have a certain amount of integrity about the opinions we give. So it is sort of real. It's not manufactured or made up, or we're not characters. We're giving our opinions. If you disagree with them, that's okay, but try and disagree with our opinions and don't make it personal. It's when you make it personal that we get a little bit jiggly with the delete stick.
We're just humans, guys.
Well, you are.
Yeah. Ryan Bishop says, I like you, Jay. Don't be sad. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it.
Talking about things coming up, there's Top Gun. There's another one coming up, which I'm really looking forward to on Netflix. Netflix?
Kenobi.
Yeah, on
that's
Disney.
on Disney Plus.
Disney Hotstar. The Obi-Wan Kenobi. I've found, anybody into Star Wars, if you're not into Star Wars, just disregard the next minute. But I found the spin-off series.
Yeah.
There was The Mandalorian. There was Boba Fett book, the Boba Fett book or something.
The Book of Boba Fett.
The Book of Boba Fett. And then this new one, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I found them better than the actual original Star Wars movies.
They just wanted to milk from the old stories.
So that milk them they may have done, but I think they've been very, very well done. And I've enjoyed them.
They wanted to sell a lot of toys. Yeah, the first one was good, and then the other two was just a waste of time, really. Adam Driver was the only saving grace.
Yeah, so
Don't even get me started.
so I'm really looking forward to the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. I think there's 6 in the series, so looking forward to that. Yeah, there's some good stuff coming out in the world of entertainment, and it does at least get us away from having to talk about, what are they calling this? The island endemic, or Endemic Sandbox? Really.
I've got a really good question.
Yes?
Wok ATM says Thai Kingdom states Thai forces.
Yes.
Does this include transgenders?
Well, there's a bit of MASH going on here.
Yeah.
MASH, if you remember, there was Klinger, who was a man who was trying to get out of the army, and he did so by dressing up as a woman. That was sort of the ongoing joke for as long as MASH ran. That was a particularly interesting character. There's a little bit of that in the Thai army, where some guys who try and get out of doing the compulsory military service do act up or present as women on the day of when they draw the red balls and the black balls. And but usually the Thai army go, well, you know, we don't care. You're in the army one way or the other. But
you can also pay your way out of it, allegedly.
There are some people.
It's about 10,000 baht.
Allegedly. A bit more than that.
Yeah.
There is an employee at the Thaiger
Yeah.
who one day just came in and said, "Oh, I pulled out the black ball and I've got to go and do military service for 2 years." And I went, "You're my best employee. There is no way." So we had to go and put our hand in our pocket and assist in his non-attendance at the army conscription. So there is a price. Allegedly, some people have told us, you can't sell it again. You've already sold it once. So there's people battling to come into the villa at the moment.
Yeah, Lewis Cabo.
Yes.
Lewis Cabo. He's done another $10 donation. Thank you, Lewis.
Oh,
Sure.
okay. Please come in.
More visitors. Nice.
More visitors. I think they've sold this villa 3 times already today.
Lewis says, I'm a Pattaya guy, but I rely on your directions on a global entry level. Tim is not old. All of you are young. That is a fair point.
Well, yeah, my attitudes are sometimes old and conservative, and sometimes they're a bit younger. I mean, I actually have a very young team around me, so it does influence my my attitude from time to time.
Yeah. BKIB says, will the Green Bay Packers win the Super Bowl and go undefeated? Of course.
I've got. Who are the Green Bay Packers?
It is
A basketball team or gridiron?
No,
or
it's an American football
ice
team.
hockey?
Out of Wisconsin.
Okay, good.
Green Bay.
Great. Why are you fascinated by the sports teams in countries you'll never go to?
How do you know I'll never go to there?
Oh, you never will.
It's sports. That's why sports is global. You don't have to literally be from that city to enjoy the sport.
Good.
And support them.
Good eye.
Come on, you like American football rules? Sorry, what? Australian football rules?
I'm from Australia.
It's not even a real sport.
Right.
And all Australians gonna bash me now. How dare you, Jay? But it is hardcore. I'm gonna call it rugby.
There'll be people out there going, no, Australian rules football was invented in England.
Yeah. Well, yesterday I was walking along the walking street with Jason, and I thought of a joke that I wanted to do on camera, but I ended up not doing it. So I was walking, I looked to my left, and I thought to myself, hooker is a position in a rugby team.
Oh. No, nobody would have got that joke.
Nobody would have got
No, nobody would have got it. Yeah. It's also the name of a real estate company.
Is it really?
LJ Hooker. Big international property company.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming up on 57 minutes. We're almost at an hour.
Do you want it? We'll push over the hour just so we can say we did it.
The Magpies are coming for Jay.
By the way, who's doing Saturday? Who's doing Sunday?
You're doing Saturday.
I'm doing
Sunday.
Saturday. What am I doing Saturday morning? Okay. Big Eurovision night tonight.
That's right.
And then tomorrow morning I'll have to get up early in the morning
To
talk to our viewer.
Yeah, I'll be flying when you're talking.
Okay, so that'll be at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Me and you, it's a date.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and you can catch the second part of our weekend update on Sunday with me from my
And
bland wall.
Jason's going to come and look after all the technology tomorrow.
Yes.
He doesn't know it yet. He's looking at me going, nah, it's not going to happen.
Oh Lord, hold on.
So you fly back to Bangkok tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm flying back tomorrow night. We'll all be in Bangkok by Monday. What's going to happen on Monday? Because Monday is a public holiday. Have you thought about that?
Yes.
So, okay.
We're not going to take a public holiday.
We're not. We're turning up just because you need us.
That's right.
We have
It's for
another
the
couple
fans.
of comments.
That's right. We've got another donation from Lewis, $50 donation.
My God.
Lewis is on a spree. Thank you, Lewis.
Lewis, thank you. Stop. Please stop.
He's just a fan of yours. He says, Tim, come to Pattaya, sexy bar on Christmas Eve.
Well, I mean, I might be there before then.
Thank you for that, Lewis.
I have to say, on Christmas Eve, the last place I would be is probably at a Pattaya bar. But I figure we're going to be...
the street's called Christmas Eve, possibly.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I think we're going to be in Pattaya before you know it. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you for not interrupting.
Right. And we've got a donation from Poco Loco, who's a Thaiger member, $50. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate your donations.
It is appreciated, and we do our best to try and